If you look up the word catfish on dictionary.com, you will learn that in this generation it is not known for being an actual fish that you find in the ocean. According to the dictionary, a catfish is a person who assumes a false identity or personality on the internet as a way to deceive, manipulate, or swindle. After today's top 10 list, you are going to want to delete all your social media and you will probably never try online dating again. I'm sorry. Because today on IO, I am sharing the top 10 times people were catfished. I'm your host Joss, thanks for joining me on InformOverload. If you like what we do, give us a follow on social media, our links are down below, and you can catch the blooper reel and comment shoutouts if you stick around until the end. The choice is yours. For now, let's get into our list of these sleazy little catfish. Have you guys ever been catfished? Tell me down in the comments. Luckily, I have not. And as Wo Vicky would say, a could never. Starting off the list, number 10 is Neef Schulman. It's only fair I tell you his backstory because he is the creator behind the MTV reality show Catfish. And the only reason the show even exists is because he was once catfished himself in a very brutal way, and his story was actually documented the entire time and turned into an indie movie called Catfish, and then it blew up from there. So it all started when a child named Abby friended him on Facebook and sent him a really impressive painting that was based on one of his photos. From there he began online relationships with the rest of her family, her parents, including her older sister Megan, who he begins to date. They date online for a while before he plans a road trip to go meet her in person. Turns out, the entire family is fake. Every single one of them. There is no Abby, no Megan, there's only a woman named Angela Wesselman. She is the artist who painted his picture, and she spends all of her time at home creating over 21 fake profiles to interact with Neef. Keep in mind, Neef was 24 at the time and he thought he was dating a 19-year-old, but Angela was actually a middle-aged woman who was married and had 2 disabled stepsons that she was taking care of at home, all while catfishing. Coming up next, number 9 is someone who thought they were dating Bow Wow. Now, I know what you're thinking. Anyone who's dumb enough to think they're dating Bow Wow online deserves to be catfished. It is entertaining to watch someone be so naive, but it's actually hard to watch them genuinely get their feelings hurt because of it. There was an episode on MTV Catfish that told the story of a girl named Kiana who fell in love with who she thought was Bow Wow. She had messaged him through a Facebook fan page and they started a relationship online. She did have some valid reasons to think he was real. He actually sent her $10,000 to help her with some financial struggles that she was having. But after contacting the show and driving 10 hours to Atlanta to meet him, they learned that it was actually a wannabe rapper named D Pimpin'. He's a trans rap artist who gathered the money loans from her relatives to send to Kiana. But the catfishing ended up paying off for everyone in the end because Bow Wow saw the episode and invited both of them to a show. So Kiana's childhood dreams of meeting him came true. However, I don't think D Pimpin' deserved to be rewarded though. He catfished someone. And at number 8 is Manti Te'o, the Notre Dame linebacker. Yes, he fell victim to a catfish, and his story made headlines because he was mourning the death of a girlfriend that he thought he was dating. He started dating a girl online named Lene Kekua, but he never got the chance to meet her because he was so busy with his football career. But that did not stop him from talking to reporters about her and dedicating all his wins to her. But in 2012, he announced that his long-distance girlfriend had died from leukemia. But a reporter who tried to look her up found out that she never actually existed. Lene was actually a fake person made up by one of Manti's male friends named Ronea, who eventually confessed that he was in love with him. But Manti didn't want people to find out all of that, so he faked her death, hoping that no one would ever ask questions or find out. He has since been shamed for lying about her death, but he stands by the fact that he was still the victim in all of this. He spoke on it and said, "The relationship to me was real. The illness, her dying, these were all real to me." I mean, couldn't you have said like you guys just broke up and that you just didn't want to talk about it? Did she really have to like die of cancer? Probably not. Swiping the number 7 spot is Justin is on a mission. This one comes from one of the most iconic Catfish episodes to ever hit the air. The episode has gone down in history, literally. It shares the story of a man named Artis who thought he was dating a girl named Jess online. Off the web, he actually had a girlfriend who was the mother of his 3 kids. Not only was he cheating on his girlfriend with someone he hadn't even met yet, but he was actually preparing to break it off with her if Jess was actually who she said she was. But she wasn't. At all. Joke's on you for cheating. It was actually a guy named Justin who was out on a mission to expose people cheating with strangers online. He actually scared the crew as he came out of his car and started doing this really creepy like slow clapping thing and trying to start a physical altercation with Artis. In the end, Artis admitted everything to his girlfriend and said that it actually strengthened their relationship. And the weirdest part about the whole story, Justin and Artis are close friends now, and in 2014 they launched a YouTube channel together. Weird. Moving on to number 6 is Antoine and Carmen. The two cousins have become memes after their hilarious episode of MTV Catfish. So Antoine's cousin Carmen contacted the show over his relationship with a man named Tony. The two of them met on a phone chat line 3 years ago and were in a relationship ever since. He claimed to be in love with him even though he actually didn't know his last name, his location, or even his appearance. They only spoke on the phone. He never even saw a picture of him. After a long dramatic hunt to try and chase down the real Tony, we learned that Carmen was actually him the whole time and she catfished her own cousin. Why? She admitted that she enjoyed catfishing people and it was revenge for her cousin putting her down publicly a few years prior. Turns out Antoine called her a fat Kelly Price, and she never got over it. The cousins went years without talking after that and reunited on a special edition of the show in 2016 where they decided to put everything behind them and be close friends again. The whole episode was honestly just a complete waste of time, but it's still worth the watch. It's funny. Halfway through the list, number 5 is Adam, also known as the King of Catfish. He gave himself that title after pulling off a catfish profile on a guy named John. John had met a girl named Kelsey in a psychology chat room and began dating her despite only hearing her voice once and never video chatting. She claimed her reasoning for that was because she had a body dysmorphic disorder. The two of them had a very close relationship online and John even admitted to sending nude pictures, which made everything worse when we found out that Kelsey was actually a guy named Adam who spends his free time catfishing people. He takes pride in the fact that he fooled John and literally said, "I am the king of catfishes." He went on to explain that he had done it to over 40 people. Sounds like you have way too much time on your hands there, sir. King of catfish. Woo. Wow. Do you know how easy it is to fool people online? Like you're fine. You're no one. Here we are, number 4, with a serious case of catfish called Leah Palmer. You might have heard about this one because it made headlines after a woman completely stole the identity of a real woman and tried to recreate her life online. She was successful and built a huge online fan base, including a romantic relationship, but none of it was actually real. She created the fake profile and based it on the real life of Ruth Grace's Nee Palmer, an account manager from the UK who was actually living in Dubai. Leah stole her pictures and created a huge social media persona that resulted in her having more followers than the real person, Ruth. She dated multiple people over her years of catfishing, one man coming forward saying he even broke up with his girlfriend to be with her. Well, you're an idiot. They never found out who the person was behind the fake account, which is the creepiest part. Imagine someone basically wearing your life as like a costume and being more successful at it. Alright guys, in the 3rd spot is the story of Angela Buchanan. Unlike the other people on this list, the only thing real about her was her photo. The rest of her life was a lie. The 30-year-old woman from Texas posed online as a gynecologist doctor who survived breast cancer. What the actual hell? She used her account to talk to real breast cancer patients, and one of them she started an online relationship with. Somehow, she was able to convince another 51-year-old woman who actually had breast cancer that entering into an active lesbian relationship with her would release hormones that would fight the malignant cells. Later on in her relationship, she also convinced her to get a mastectomy, a surgery that removes all breast tissue as a way to get rid of or prevent breast cancer cells from spreading. Angela actually accompanied her to the hospital on the day of the procedure. The truth all came out after that and surfaced, and Angela was arrested and charged with online impersonation. She admitted to everything she did and said she had to lie and pretend to be a doctor, or else a woman would have never entered into that intimate sexual relationship with her. That is so messed up. Taking over the number 2 spot is Kid Cole, the scam artist. A woman named Lucille was speaking to what she thought was a rapper named Kid Cole who claimed to be working with people like Kanye West and Robin Thicke. It wasn't a romantic relationship like the other ones on our countdown. He actually hired her to help organize events, which ended up leaving her in huge financial debt. The truth came out and the whole thing was a scam. He actually had done it to multiple people as a way to get money from people. The music he had on his SoundCloud was completely fake, and in the music world he was actually known for being a scam artist. In the epic episode of MTV Catfish, the host Neve actually takes the phone from Kid's hand and throws it into the ocean. This is a true story, and no, no, he didn't even buy him a new phone after that. Lucille went on to study criminal justice, and Kid Cole was arrested later in 2015 on suspicion of making 11 terror attacks across the Capitol. So basically he seems like a really good guy. Earning the #1 spot on our list is Shelly Carter. She is the woman behind the most famous catfishing story of the century. Her catfishing scandal went international and rocked the sports world because it involved the NBA star Chris Anderson, aka Birdman. To sum up the very long and twisted story, Shelly stole the pictures of a 17-year-old Instagram model named Paris Dunn and created a fake account with them. The real Paris Dunn had posted on Chris's Facebook page and invited him to call her and dropped her phone number. There's your first mistake. So Shelly texted Paris and pretended to be Chris, and that is how it all began, because the real Paris thought that she was actually texting Chris. Paris ends up sending some selfie sexies and nude pictures, which Shelly forwards to Chris from her fake account. He began engaging with her after he was told that she was 21, and from there they started to send nude photos back and forth and began a sexual online relationship. Shelly ends up planning this in-person meetup, Paris and Chris having no idea that they are talking through a third person the whole time. Paris ends up flying to Denver and having a weekend with Anderson, which was confirmed to be sexual based off their messages following that weekend. Shelly ends up coming forward with the truth and started to threaten them, asking for thousands of dollars or she will expose their messages, showing that he had what would be considered child pornography since Paris was only 17. Shelly ended up getting arrested and charged with 7 counts of fraud, impersonation, extortion, and threats, and was sentenced to 18 months in jail. Birdman ended up losing his position on the team and his reputation was shot, all because of a really bored Canadian girl. She has given us Canadians a bad look. We are all not like that. I promise. Alright, there's our top 10 countdown list. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments if you have ever been catfished. Or expose yourself and tell me if you've ever catfished someone. For now, I'm going to reply to some comments. Melodrama says, hey, give me a shout out already. Your hugest fan in the whole world of Africa, y'all. Alright, a fan all the way from Africa does deserve a shout out. We appreciate you. Corey S says, and the record for most bloopers in IO history goes to Jocelyn Bedard. If that was a real record, I would definitely break it. I am the worst. Slanaki says, anytime I see Claire's, I hiss because they practice gun piercings and that is not okay. Why isn't that okay? I got my ears pierced from there for the first time and I actually prefer the piercing gun over a regular needle. It's way quicker. Butterfly02081 says, thank you for this channel, I love it. Jocelyn, did you ever get told you resemble Cameron Diaz? Never. Like her looks or her personality? I mean, I love her, so either way that is a compliment to me, but no, I've never heard that one. Alright guys, that is our list. Let me know if you've been catfished or if you are a dirty, sleazy catfish. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another video. And for now, enjoy the bloopers. No one catfishing my ass. I ain't falling for that bullshit. Who gathered the money loans from her relatives to send to Kiana. What am I saying? To send to Kiana. But the catfishing ended up,